Podcast. My name is Jedi Master David, and with me as always is Darth Austin.
Hello, everyone.
Well, I just have one thing to say. Star Wars sucks, and I'm done.
Yeah, worst episode ever. I'm so sick of Mando. Season 3 can be canceled. I don't care.
No, it's not Mando.
Grogu. I'm sorry. The Grogalorian.
No, it's not even that. Yeah, I'm just
in general, you don't want Star Wars anymore?
sick of Star Wars, man. So tired of it all. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Well, folks, season finale of The Mandalorian has come and went.
Quickly. Very short episode.
Well, longer than others.
True, but last year was well over an hour.
Was it?
I think it was an hour and 15.
I don't remember. It's possible. Let me just put it to you this way. What a way to end with a bang.
Yeah. Multiple bangs, I would argue.
Several bangs. A lot of banging. So we're obviously going to go spoiler review, as you guys know, of the season finale of Mando, entitled The Rescue. I always have to look this crap up. To be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of, and I've probably said this, I'm not a huge fan of this episode and then chapter thing. It just gets confusing to me. So we're episode 8, chapter 16, runtime of 46 minutes, and then again entitled The Rescue. So before we, I guess, get started here, how's your week been? Oh, and by the way,
you're fact checking me. I could have sworn that was longer. Wow,
I'm fact checking as we go. So season 1, episode 8, chapter 8, Redemption was 48 minutes as well.
Wow.
So.
That seemed like a longer episode.
No, nothing.
Clearly, I will say one thing with the pacing though. It never seems like a dull minute in this season compared to last. Maybe it just felt longer because of that.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I do think last season the episodes felt a little longer. But realistically, as we're kind of looking at this, chapter 9, 54 minutes, chapter 10, 41, 11, 35, 12, 39, 13, 47, 14, 33.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, 15, 38, and then finally chapter 16 at 46 minutes. So, I mean, we all kind of wish these were longer.
Yeah.
But I think that the story that's been told has been good. And we will go and do an entire season 2 recap at another time. But before we get started talking about the episode today, let's go over our awesome weeks. Really close to Christmas.
You go ahead. You first. I'm always the first one to talk about my week.
It was a typical work week. Nothing out of the ordinary. Finishing up the final touches on, next week's Christmas stuff. We both went in on a new smoker for our father who, ran his into the ground. Mm-hmm. So
cleaned it once, maybe.
Maybe. And so I put that together. That was big. The bases on those, they seem like they'd be super easy.
Oh, they're not?
Well, they're not because they don't fit together 100% the way you would think they would.
Really?
So anyway.
Did you have to bend some metal to get to line up?
No bent metal, but there's a couple screw holes that I can't put screws in. So let's just.
Is there at least 2 screws in it?
There's a few screws, yeah.
Okay,
it's got a few screws loose, just like me.
Well, I thought you said you couldn't put them in at all.
Well, I did. Maybe.
You cross-threaded them.
In a couple of places. There might be other places that can't accept screws. I don't know, man. It's complicated. I didn't go to school to be an engineer. I just bang stuff together with a hammer. It's great. It's good times.
Well, that's why they're all cross-threaded. You bang the bolts in with a hammer.
I would never cross-thread anything in my life. And you have no ground to stand on because I already had to fact-check you in this episode. So you can't fact-check me. All right?
Let me go look at your truck.
You can't put statistic numbers next to my profile picture. All right?
Okay.
No. Week was fine. Just another work week, getting through end of year stuff and
reviewing everybody's performance.
That, yeah.
You finally done with that?
Yeah, I am done with that. That was all done last week. Glad to be done with that. Now everybody just wants to know how much you're going to get paid next year, which I won't have until like February. So I've got another month of, folks, hey, so how much am I getting paid? Yeah, you'll figure it out in February. Don't worry about it. Just like me.
Less. Just tell everyone less.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be great conversations.
Well, boss, half the employees quit. I guess they didn't like my joke.
Yeah, they'd love it. So, yeah, how was your week?
Nice and short. I took a half day yesterday and today off. Finally burned a little vacation time, well overdue. Just kind of tortured myself waiting for the episode all day. I almost woke up and watched it first thing this morning, though.
Yep.
Not gonna lie.
Well, before we get into the conversation, let's give the general PSA, even though, of course, the season's over. I do not like spoilers. Okay. And unfortunately now this is the second or third episode where things have been spoiled for me. Not like wholeheartedly, like I didn't know everything, but I very clearly knew very specific details.
The most important details, I would argue.
Yeah, pretty much. So I know that there are a lot of folks out there who want to get the clicks, man. All right. They want to get the views. They want to build their channels and their podcasts, and that's fine. Okay. I just won't follow that anymore. Because I think there's a principle that you have to eventually figure out. Part of the reason we do this podcast is for fun. The other one was just to, keep a connection between us and so forth, and talk on a regular basis, and we have a mutual interest, and that's Star Wars, so we do a podcast. But, I never had any ambitions of this thing ever blowing up or anything like that. But you know what? We've done okay.
Yeah.
We've done okay download-wise. Not crazy, but we've, when we were featured by Podbean, when Rise of Skywalker came out, that was really cool. That brought in a lot of new listeners. And it's been fun. We don't get a ton of interaction from folks, but we'll get some comments and we get some people. And like I said, I know some people are listening because I do look at the statistics periodically.
Let's put it this way. We have the ability to ruin someone's day by spoiling it for them.
Well, I mean, yeah, we could put clickbait.
Maybe not as much as, say, the Mike Zeros of the world and some other famous YouTubers and whatnot, but we definitely have the potential.
Yeah, and I mean, I put on very boring titles on our episodes. It's normally like, whatever episode, chapter of Mandalorian, and then the name of it. I don't, we don't really try and farm clicks. We just put our stuff out there. If you listen, cool. If not, it's our conversation, and that's perfectly fine. But yeah, I have gotten very tired of having certain things, and even if it's just very small and innocuously ruined, not like the entire thing, a thumbnail, a title of a video. I'm smart, and I know I know some about Star Wars. I wouldn't say a lot, but I know some about Star Wars. I can make inferences. I can speculate, and my guesses are usually okay. What I saw very blatantly led me to two very important things here. And although I was still very happy while watching the episode, it does temper some of the excitement. I am not a part of the midnight gang. All right. I'm not staying up all night or waking up at the butt crack of dawn to watch these episodes. I have some patience. And, you were coming down to the house today. Obviously, you're at the house. And, we were going to watch it together. So I refrained. And I wasn't even social mediaing. Like, I wasn't going on Twitter or Facebook. And then I did a little later, and there was no spoilers.
No.
Where I saw it was YouTube. And I was just, popping on. You know what I've been watching lately? This is really stupid. There is a YouTube channel called The Lockpicking Lawyer. Guess what he does?
Couldn't even begin to form a guess.
He picks locks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a lawyer, and he's just a normal dude. Good suit. He's like the Bob Ross of lock picking. It's like he'll sit there with all these different padlocks, door locks, all this stuff, and just be like, he'll have his little tools. He doesn't like specifically explain this stuff either, which I think is good.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, a click out of 1, two's loose, click out of 3, oh, and it's open, and it's been so fascinating. The guy has put out like 2,000 videos, dude, and they're like little short tidbits too. Like no videos like over 10 minutes. And sometimes he'll gut the lock so you get to see what's inside. And I find those mechanical things very cool. I always have. I think when I get into one of those forever homes, you would probably see some skeleton locks, like on doors, like some of those old, older, like Victorian style door handles and stuff. Not because there's no security in those. Yeah. I just like them because I think they're cool.
Right.
Aesthetically. Anyway, but yeah, I was just on YouTube watching a video or trying to put on a video throughout the day, watching like Pat McAfee's, show, talking about sports or, I don't know, whatever's out there in my subscribed queue. And, unfortunately, I watch not unfortunately, but I watch Star Wars videos and, so I get suggestions.
Yep.
And there you go. And it was thumbnails and one of them, the title. So we're not gonna bash anybody. It is what it is. But I would prefer that doesn't happen, or at the very least, talk about it, but just don't make it so blatant in those instances where I'm not looking, I'm just scrolling, and I happen to see it,
picture.
And my mind instantly goes, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I've had that happen too. I forget which episode I had spoiled for me. I think it was the episode before last. It was actually through, of all things, the Google app on my phone.
I remember.
Got on the Google app to look at something completely non-Star Wars related. I didn't even type in Star Wars, but there are articles that show up below the bar. And the first article that showed up, I think it might have been, it wouldn't have been Boba Fett because I was expecting that, but it was something that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah.
That's crap, man.
And just driving down here, I was kind of nervous because, when I take a longer drive, I usually, pop on YouTube and listen to something while I'm driving. I'm not really
listening to it.
No, really. The things that I put on YouTube, I don't typically watch. It's more commentary.
Don't do that.
No, it's more like, say, Joe Rogan podcast, stuff like that on YouTube.
Another PSA: don't watch videos while you're driving. Okay, don't.
Yeah, unfortunately, there was no way to link that into the touchscreen of my car.
That would be just as equally as bad because a giant touchscreen is basically just a giant screen. TV. That's really bad, and you shouldn't do any of that.
TV.
Yeah. PSA over. Go ahead.
But seriously, like just getting on there to find something to listen to on the way here, I debated I'll just get on music. I'll just listen to music. It's not even worth the risk. But no, I did not have a single spoiler on YouTube, and I scrolled for a while too, so I was surprised.
Well, and I also wasn't going to give you those tidbits either because, again, I was pretty sure that what I was seeing and what I inferred from those was going to happen. So I was like, no, I'm not. But there was one part where I kind of put my hand on your shoulder and I was like, it's coming.
Here we go.
It's coming, buddy. And honestly, once you saw the very beginning of that, we'll get into it later. You knew what was going on. Yeah. So you were pretty quick. And that's the thing is, if you would have seen what I saw, you would have made the same conclusion, I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, just something to think about because this isn't the only series that's going to be out. We're going to have a lot of series coming up. And I think that it's important to, sort of be nice.
Well,
let's be nice to each other.
And I want to emphasize more on this than TV. The books, when they come out, could we not get spoilers on the books? Because you put a lot more time and attention into going through a book than you do a 45-minute show.
What was it?
So that being spoiled would piss me off.
Well, I think that the Cabin book, I think that they actually published the first 8 chapters. And I didn't read it, But yeah, there was talk about that too.
Yeah.
And
well, there's a YouTuber who got a pre-release of the first 3 High Republic books, who actually posted a review like, I read the first 3 books, here's what I think. It's like, part of me is like, okay, if this is spoiler free, I'd actually be interested in listening.
Right.
I doubt it's gonna be spoiler free.
But I'll tell you what, that actually does happen a lot with books. You know, you do get, and yes, I know a couple people that got some advanced copies as well. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of.
But just imagine scrolling through right now and like, oh, we get the first big drop for High Republic completely spoiled for us.
Yeah,
a couple months out.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and we're very close. We're
not
very
even a couple months.
Close to High
We're
Republic.
less than a month.
I already have that queued up to download Audible once it comes through, and then
I've got 4 credits right now, so I'm good for all of them.
I'm not actually sure if I want to buy a physical copy of that book. I think it depends on how much it'll cost, because I probably will.
It's kind of a cool cover though. I kind of want the book.
Well, I'm gonna be very kind of blunt about this. I actually thought the artwork for a lot of the High Republic was not all that interesting.
But this first one coming out was decent. You gotta admit.
No, I think that they look generic as hell.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean that's just my opinion.
I guess more the color palette than the actual. You know, the characters are not that exciting, so I should refrain from saying that. It's the color palette; it just pops so much. Cool.
I don't want to like sit here and say no or anything. I'm just, I was just a little meh on it.
Yeah,
and that it is what it is. I think it could have been better, but I probably will. I don't think I've really skipped buying a recent book, and I've definitely filled out the collection a lot more. Which if we had more time tomorrow, which I mean, I know I don't, and I know you're heading out early in the morning, and probably take down to half price and do a little book shopping. But anyway, what do you think, man? You want to start talking? Actually, no, we can't. We can't start talking because we have to do an RIP. We have to do a little bit of respect here.
Yeah.
Jeremy Bulloch, who played Boba Fett. We're not big social media guys. I do post the episodes, and I quote. Now it's called quote tweeting on Twitter instead of just retweeting. You can retweet or quote tweet it. I did tweet something today about all the characters from Mandalorian. If you type them in, they have an emoji. Did you know that?
Really?
Even Frog Lady has an emoji.
Oh, what's that? The egg?
No, a frog. I mean,
I think the egg would be more fitting.
The egg would be funny. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, so we don't really do that kind of like tributary pictures and stuff like that. It's just not really our thing. But we did want to, give some word on there. Unfortunately, we've been losing actors.
It's tough.
The actor who played Vader, David. What was his last name? I'm gonna Prose, I think is how it's pronounced. So
lost Chewie too this year.
Yeah. It's been and we talked about that when that happened. Yeah, it's been difficult, and we're unfortunately a lot of these actors are advancing in age quicker than some of us would like. But
it's an old movie franchise. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's one thing we kind of forget, especially with how long standing it's been. Yep. A lot of these people are getting up there in age. I mean,
Boba was somebody who captured a lot of folks' imagination. He was an interesting character. Not, we got to be honest. It wasn't necessary, or at least I'm going to be honest. I won't speak for you, but it wasn't my favorite character. He was like, oh, well, that's kind of interesting, but that idea really spawned so many. And I'll tell you, when I was at Celebration in 2019, during a few of the panels, the Mandalorian mercs were out in force, and they had their own section during. I think it might have been the Rise of Skywalker panel where they showed the trailer. I'm pretty sure, but it was a big, huge section of them. So that whole lore has really been huge. And like I said, we don't like losing any of these folks, but unfortunately, we did lose him. So a little RIP.
Yeah, and up until 2 years ago, I read that he was still active.
Yeah.
Going through all the conventions and still interacting with people. And
so many of them did.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you? I mean, wouldn't you love to keep that going?
Well, a regret of mine is that at Celebration, Billy D. Williams was there, and I don't remember what the price was. I don't think it was price prohibitive, but I think it was just one of those things where I'm not a big autograph guy. Mm-hmm. But I thought about that one. Yeah. And I think it was like a very limited engagement because it was a big deal to have him there. Right. He just doesn't do that. So I really thought about that. But Peter Mayhew was also there too. And I don't remember if that was his last appearance. And I don't think he was able to stay the entire time either because the health had obviously not been great for a while. But thing is, like Peter Mayhew, he was one of those guys like, when Wizard World comes to Columbus, I'll see him because he's there. He was there the year before. I was like, I'll see him. It'll be cool. Didn't happen. Pandemic. We're not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. I gotta say, like now, like Tamara Morrison, new Boba, not new Boba, just Boba now, Django, all that good stuff, all the clones. I'm gonna seriously consider when we get back to it. If he's there, I might get a little photo or something of him, and I might start thinking about that because even Celebration, Hayden Christensen was there.
Yeah,
and I just the lines weren't long, but we won't necessarily have all these people forever.
No.
And
we don't know the next time we're going to get to see them, even if we have them around.
Yeah, I know. This coming year we'll see. I think we're still dealing with a lot of shock and, from 2020, and we'll have to see how 2021 is. I've been telling a lot of my folks, at work, it's just like, even with whatever's happening, make it positive. Mm-hmm. Make it a positive year, because if we can all be positive, then we can get through about anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I'm gonna start thinking about that in once we kind of get back and 2022, maybe with the Celebration there, seeing.
And it'll probably be a big...
Because the tickets were transferred, so I am going.
2022 is going to be a bigger year, too, with all these shows getting ready to come out. We're going to see a lot of people from that. So, and obviously
I hope
we're going to have the Mando cast again, along with many other shows. So, it's...
If we don't tar and feather them over this next season, they could suck it up. I don't know, man.
I think even if the third season is a complete tank, we can still appreciate what we got in the first two. So,
yeah,
not necessarily everyone's sentiment, but
wait,
I'd like to know who didn't enjoy this episode.
Wait a minute, I felt a disturbance in the Force. It's as if.
No, it's just a Taco Bell.
It's as if
that's a Taco
thousands of people just canceled their Disney Plus monthly memberships all in unison as The Mandalorian was over.
And it went silent.
I wonder, because that was a big thing.
Yeah.
Last year. I wonder if that's a thing. Because, like, the investors we've got, like, what was it, like, almost 7 million? Yeah. Or, no, it was over 8, wasn't it? It was, like, close to 9, like 8.6 or something stupid like that. They're like, we're only going to be building back onto this. It's like...
And why do you think that they announced all this? Because then people will think it's like, well, I'm halfway through.
Yep.
Maybe I'll just pay for one more year and keep it. I don't know.
Well, actually, now is when they'll start actually coming in, and then about a week from now is when the screams will come out of millions of fans just dumping it.
And when you think about, for the people that just bought the subscription to get to watch this season, like maybe 2 months ago, I'm gonna buy it. Well, at the drop at the end, it's like, well, now I got to keep it. This is great.
Well, you never you never know. You never quite know how that's gonna be. But I will say this: I'm looking forward to the future of Star Wars. I think that it's pretty bright. I think that there's always going to be complainers, but hopefully we come out on top with some good stuff to talk about. So how about we get to talking a little bit more and get into this episode of Mando.
Mm-hmm.
The rescue. Man, oh man.
Fast paced.
It really was. And I know when we started the episode, we were maybe a minute in or two, and you're like, oh, quick, how long is it? Mm-hmm. And listen, Disney. I know you give us those big fat checks and all. And, it's what's keeping me alive, all right? It's what's keeping me going.
Mm-hmm.
Food on the table, not really. But anyway, you gotta fix this app. You gotta fix this app, man. You put those millions of dollars, maybe not do one series and fix this app, man. You have got to get this thing to run like Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Just without the stupid previews, because nobody wants those previews that Netflix does. No. Nobody wants that crap, and they need to knock it off. But anyway, I've like went to pause episodes, and they just keep running.
Yeah.
For like a few seconds. Pause should mean pause. Oh no, it's buffering. Well, then let it buffer in silence, because I need to pause this.
Buffering should not affect whether or not you can give it a command. If you can rewind it while it's buffering, why can't you pause it?
I'm not a big fan of this app. It's laggy. Like my TV that we're watching this on here, the big 900-inch super duper
Disney Check TV,
the super screen,
the wall TV.
Yeah, it's experimental. It's made of Beskar. But no, I mean, whatever, 50, 55, 60. I think it's 55 maybe. I feel like it's 55 or 60. I don't remember. It's been like, a month. The last Disney check coming in. But in all seriousness, it's like, this is like a new TV. I bought this year. Mm-hmm. And
it's not the TV's fault.
Smart TV, all that good junk. It runs fine, but Disney Plus needs work, man. And I've been saying it, and we need to come to some sort of impasse where this thing works better.
Well, it's not even just the function of it, just even the user interface. Like, these are the worst. UI. They are the worst playlist suggestions I've ever seen in any streaming app. Yeah. And why do we need 10 different playlists of Star Wars stuff that do not pertain to each other whatsoever? Yeah. It's like the Skywalker collection. It's like, that's 90% of it.
Wait.
You're talking about everything that has Skywalker in it. That's 95% of it. Why do we have a collection for that?
There's been another disturbance in the Force. I feel my bank account screaming out to me as millions of dollars have been pulled by Disney for us bashing their service. Of course, that's Let me just put it this way. If we were millionaires, I might not be podcasting.
Or maybe you would, and then you really would bash.
God, wouldn't that be hilarious if Disney actually did cut us a check because we were so cool? It's like, you guys are cool.
I think if I was a millionaire, I would just be a podcaster, just calling out everybody's BS. Like, look, this is stupid. Yeah. I don't care if you like me.
Untouchable. Anyway, so about that episode, let's jump into Mando and just get into the meat here.
Quick recruitment.
Yeah,
and I kind of called it, but honestly, it was a bit of a joke because I even said at the beginning. But wouldn't that be really? I mean, they're seriously just gonna run up and be like, "Hey, Bo, we need you. Come on, let's go." And that's what happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff happens very, very quick. We obviously do get the return of Bo-Katan, and I apologize. I don't remember Sasha Banks' character's name off the top of my head. We probably could look at one of our super phones and figure this out, maybe. Maybe like check that out real quick. Didn't get the male Mandalorian though, which I thought was kind of weird. And I'll tell you what,
I liked him too. That was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, Sasha Banks is a big fat liar. She said that this was a one shot, and it totally wasn't. But I gotta say, I thought it was pretty cool because I thought she acted really well in the first episode she was in. And in this one, she definitely gets more dialogue, I felt like. And she gets to pull off a tornado DDT, man. Little WWF, maneuver there. So that was kind of neat to see. A little bit of different combat.
Varnado. I'm sorry.
Let me see.
Mercedes Varnado.
Really?
Yeah, Mercedes. Her name's Mercedes.
Are you?
I don't think
No,
that's right.
that's not. I think that's her actual name, because her Sasha Banks' actual name is not Sasha Banks. I think that's her real name.
Is that her real name?
I think
I
it
did not know
is.
that. I did not know Sasha Banks was a fake name.
It's a fake name.
That's funny.
It's her working name.
Well, let me
for
actually open
WWE.
it.
Well, while you're looking for that, our opening scene, we do see the capture of our doctor here, and Lambda class shuttle. We get to see a little bit more of the still unnamed Boba Fett ship, but we all know what it's called.
Casca Reeves. Her name's
Okay.
Casca Reeves.
Okay, that makes more sense. But yeah, I was about to say, I think that's her actual name. Anyway, she's BA, man. I mean, I don't really watch wrestling. I used to when I was a little kid, but I have seen her and a lot of the ladies of wrestling now are like heads and tails above what they used to be. She's very good. She's an
certainly
entertainer.
has not lost it.
No, well, she's been very good in here, which is awesome. But anyway, so our beginning scene, we have our two shuttle pilots with a doctor, and they're boarded. And man, one of these Imperials, man, they are like really making them look like the
Wimps.
scum. No, the scum of the
Well,
galaxy.
yeah, but they're kind of wimps too when you think about it. They're either, I mean, these characters embody the Imperial remnants so much because you have the coward,
Yeah, true.
and then the piece of crap.
No, you're right. You are 100% right there. Yeah, one of the pilots does try to beg off, and he's shot. And let me just say this was a violent episode. This is like Clone Wars level violence.
I would say this is probably the most violent episode of the show.
But I'll tell you what, they are pulling no punches, and I even said this as Cara Dune blasts this dude in the face after insulting her and everything. Like, she, you could tell she's angry, but she keeps her cool and just like literally blasts him in the face.
It's this is a common movie trope that how many times have you said, you know what, that person's a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
They could pull that off.
Well, you do the RoboCop. What was in Robo? I think he shoots through like her dress and like hits his leg or something like that, wasn't it in RoboCop? But again, just really cool. So they capture the dock. We go and get Bo-Katan and
we almost pull out the headphones.
And the character that you figured.
Costco.
Oh man. So yeah, we arrive on planet, and I got to tell you, this Mando and Boba Fett walking into a bar sounds like a joke, but it's not.
It's gonna be a meme.
It looked sick. Yeah. Well, I was telling you about a meme, and I forgot to finish the meme, but it was like, it was from the last episode, and so Mando looks at Boba, and he's like, something. We should call ourselves the Mando Bros, and Boba's like, I love it. And then they both, it's like whisper, Mando Bros, Mando Bros. So I thought that was insanely appropriate as they walk into this bar. It just looks sick, man. It's so Wild West. And they confront our other Mandalorians. And the back and forth here was really interesting. And I am glossing over some of the other species we're seeing in the bar, which is cool, but there's some Rhodians and so forth. But anyway, they are hostile toward Boba. They know who this is too. And they even call him out as a clone. You're not Mandalorian. I never said I was.
I know that voice.
Yeah.
I've heard that 1,000 times.
I know. And you know what? The Jedi have a lot of reason to mistrust clones, but so do the Mandalorians. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I actually was a little surprised. We have a little mini fight, little mini boss fight here between Boba and
Casca.
I'll eventually remember that. Maybe just like Grief Karga.
Just keep
See?
thinking
I
Costco.
remember it. Well, we have this little showdown, and based upon what Boba did in our previous episode, I kind of expected him to wipe the floor with her a little bit. So when they had her get in more offense, it's sick. But I just thought that, the way that they were building Boba up in the previous episode, they would kind of, maybe that was like a bit of respect. You know what I mean? Oh, Boba, he knows what he's doing. He might not be, Mandalorian in accordance to our standards, but he can fight. He can be an asset. So I thought that was a little weird. What did you think about that?
I think it's par for the course for the rest of the episode, though, because we really don't get any Boba. So I think it goes back to building up these female characters, which this is a very, I would say the entire episode is pretty female-centric. It was, definitely a squad of BA women.
Oh, yeah, and I don't have it in front of me, but before we started recording, we had the episode up, by the way. They have the duel of flamethrowers, which I thought was hilarious. Not that
because
was
apparently two flamethrowers cancel each other out.
Yeah,
I would like to see someone test that in real life.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't have the tweet in front of me, but before we started recording, Katie Sackhoff had a tweet out there, and I think she had brought her dad to the set. And basically was thanking everyone for like creating a universe where like, you can, I don't even know where I saw it. So I don't know. I could Twitter, but I don't want to. But it was basically like giving a place for like a young girl to live her dream type of deal.
Yeah.
So you're right. We did see a lot of really BA women here, which I thought was cool. And, obviously I know that there are some people out there that have their objections to the route Star Wars is going. But I have to say, we can find strength in anyone as long as they're a good character. Now, we've been critical of characters of both sexes, of all sexes, however you want to put it, but the thing is that when those characters are strong, dude, we're 100% behind anyone. Doesn't matter who you are. And, I've loved Bo-Katan. I've loved Bo-Katan since, forever, man.
Yeah.
I thought she was sick. I loved the Duchess Satine. And I'm liking Cara Dune. There could be more to that, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm liking Sasha Banks' character.
Fennec.
Yeah, and Fennec. Oh my gosh, the actress for Fennec, was it Ming No Wen? I really shouldn't guess at things. I never remember names very much, but I loved her in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And she was also Chung Li way back when in the Street Fighter movie, which I actually still really like. But anyway, having these 4 positive female role models who really they don't really need Mando.
Yeah.
They know how to take care of themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And maybe that's just our preference, but I personally think that this is a better strong female role model than some that we've seen in the movies. Just the more recent movies. I mean, we've always had strong women in Star Wars. I've always said that. But I would take this over some of the Last Jedi women, personally.
Well, it all depends on how you're going to portray them, because when it boils down to, these are characters. They are make believe.
Yeah.
They are the writing of words on a piece of paper. They are an illustration on a storyboard. You can make them whatever you want to make them, which is why Marvel is so insane.
Mm-hmm.
I saw I actually think it might have been a snippet from Robot Chicken. It was like, Batman's on a podium giving like a eulogy for, what was Jeremy Renner's character in Avengers? Hawkeye. Mm-hmm. And he's like, Hawkeye died. And he's like, wait, I'm done with this because next month there's going to be some stone that brings him back to life. And I'm tired of all these funerals. And then you see like Hawkeye in the back is like, yeah, he's right. That type of deal.
Hey, there's nothing like Marvel. I mean, in what other universe can we grow up watching Spider-Man And then they switch the
which
actor.
coincidentally,
And we're like, okay, this is stupid. Then they switch the actor again, and then our minds are blown when we realize it's just a spider.
I have to stop. I have to stop here because that totally isn't Marvel and it wasn't Hawkeye. That's DC,
I know.
and I can't remember.
I knew what you were saying, but
the same happens with Marvel.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
it's worse with Marvel too.
Well, it can be.
Dead people stay dead in DC a little bit longer.
I just remember that robot chicken thing because I saw it recently. Anyway, so you can write these characters however the heck you want, okay? And I think that you can do a character any way, just make them strong, just make them positive. I think unfortunately, I get where you're going at because it's not like our complaint, but it's happened with a lot. Like Rose was
not the worst character ever, but let's be honest.
Well, she became nothing in Rise.
She was everything in Last Jedi, and then she was just obscure.
Yeah, and I mean even Laura Dern's character. Unfortunately, if you didn't really read books, which I don't remember all her appearances, but I'm pretty sure she was in Leia, Princess of Alderaan. Could be wrong about that because I haven't read Leia, Princess of Alderaan. I haven't read Bloodlines either, and I don't remember she's in Bloodlines. There's so much literature I still have to read. But that character's been around, but, it's like she just shows up and has purple hair.
Mm-hmm.
She does an insane maneuver, but, it's like, okay, well, but who is she?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to go search that out if you really want to know. But I think the difference here is that our characters are just, we might not know all the backstory, but you kind of feel like they're it, man.
Yeah.
They're it.
But you could argue that some people would feel the same about Bo-Katan. Not everyone watched Clone Wars and Rebels, so they might not know who that is. I don't think that's going to be a large audience compared to in Last Jedi.
I don't think so because Katie Sackhoff's amazing. And she hit the nail on the
lore behind the character.
Yeah,
there might
okay.
be people out there that don't know the character, and it's like, well, why is she so important?
I guess.
Could be a lot less people than in Last Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's not necessarily the backstory; it's the on-screen presence, and I think that can be dictated by the director, by the writing, but I also think that these ladies here definitely put it out there, and it feels really good, to know that future generations of girls can look up to these folks. Because like I've brought this up several times, but Solo, when Solo dropped, we went and saw Rebel Force Radio live in Cleveland, and I don't know, teenage girl, I don't know exact, maybe 12, 13 comes up, what's your favorite movie? Last Jedi, and it was like she was total Rey head, man. Mm-hmm. And, we grew up with Luke. Mm-hmm. There was Leia, but, my favorite was always Han. Mm-hmm. I was a Han Solo guy. So, I don't know, man. I think it's positive, and I think they did that whole thing really well. So let's kind of, we'll continue to move a wee bit. We do have a plan taking shape. And I thought this whole plan was like really going quick. We were only like 10, 15 minutes into the episode, and it's like, oh, they're going. There's no pit stops. There's no fetch quests. It's basically we're taking this shuttle. We're going to infiltrate Gideon's ship, and we're going to take it. We're going to take it. Mando gets the baby. We get the rest, right? Mm-hmm. So Boba Fett, to your point, Boba basically hangs back. We don't see him enter the ship. He's basically shooting at the shuttle, making it believable.
Yeah. By the way, the TIE fighters in this episode were immaculate. They were just perfect.
Yeah, I know you had said that when we were going through this. We have this very slim corridor as they were launching, and the launch sequence was awesome. They were telling the shuttle to pull back until the launch bay was clear, and they just, straight up go mowing right in, right? Perfect landing, of course. Boba gets away, and all hell breaks loose, man.
Yeah.
we've got we've got stormtroopers going down left and right. Like I said, it's so darn violent.
This might be one of the highest stormtrooper death counts in all of Star
might
Wars,
be.
just this season alone.
Do you think more stormtroopers died than Anakin killed younglings?
I would say quite a few more. Hey, this ship does hold hundreds. I don't think there are hundreds of younglings.
So another component here, we have our what do we call the
Dark Troopers?
Dark Troopers. So we did learn here from Doctor, was it Fishing or Pursing?
Piercing.
Piercing.
Something
We
like
just
that,
said three different names, my man.
It's either piercing or pursing.
Well, anyway, the doc. That these they are, there's no human component. They are strictly droids, which actually I have to say kind of disappointed me a bit.
Well, I had mentioned it. Maybe it's a little far fetched for Star Wars, but I think it would have been cool if maybe some Death Troopers got some implants.
Yeah,
or maybe
the advancement of that program. Yeah.
Or maybe, just the brains of the Death Troopers or something after they died.
Right.
Something like that.
Well, some of the lore of the Death Troopers is they were genetically modified. I mean, they weren't just standard troopers or highly trained. They were modified. So yeah, I was a little disappointed in that. And part of our story here is it takes them a couple minutes to boot up.
Yeah.
So
the
that was
obligatory timer sequence.
yeah. And we get to this scene on the bridge where Finnick and Kara are they've got a little battalion of troopers, but jetpacks and we can do all this stuff. So they're just taking care of business. But directly under that bridge was just a force field.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, that's something's going to happen there. And of course, a stormtrooper falls through.
Worst design ever, by the way.
Yeah. What do we do?
What's the point?
Why aren't the blast doors closed, man? Close those blast
Is
doors.
it for trash disposal? Is that what this is?
Maybe, man. All right. So we're countdown clock. Our
hoses. I don't like the hoses.
The whole thing was just a little meh. Like I said, after I learned that they're just droids,
But the dubstep, though.
Oh my goodness, I'm glad that you brought that up. The whole rhythm of the sounds of them, I don't know, coming off the wall. It did sound like the start of a music theme, like Skrillex is back there just dubbing it up. Who are the twins who did the whole Tron soundtrack? What were those guys called?
Daft Punk.
Yeah, Daft Punk and Skrillex are just back there, just with banging pots and pans against the wall. It was. We both said that at the same time. It's like, oh, we got a remix. Whatever. But far more interesting is the battle in a cargo bay, man.
Do you think there was an argument before they shot this scene? It's like, okay, I want the coolest melee kill. No, I get the coolest melee kill.
Yeah, it's total one-upsmanship. We have Fennec doing a ton of stuff here. It's
so many kicks.
Yeah, and when I'm saying this is violent, I think when you have, did you ever watch the movie Equilibrium?
Mm-hmm.
So Equilibrium, they had this whole kooky gun fu thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what they called it, but I always thought of it as gun fu. It was close quarter gunfighting.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked really cool on screen. Well, in this one, it's they're so close and it's point blank just bolts through the chest.
Yeah.
And it's it's whoa,
It's brutal.
man, it's brutal.
Multiple headshots. There's a lot going on here.
These troopers suck, though.
They do.
They suck so bad. They're completely unprepared. But yeah, they give Fennec a big highlight here through the corridor. And she's also clearly force sensitive.
Yeah.
By the way, she dodged a bolt.
Yeah, it's great.
Force sensitive Fennec confirmed.
Maybe-
That's a clickbait title for.
Wonder if Fennec.
episode.
I wonder if Fennec is secretly, just maybe that's not her last name. Maybe it's Dameron.
Shut up. Oh my God.
Maybe she marries a Dameron.
Just stop it. My name is Fennec Skywalker. Let's keep going. So
No, I just show you how to get through star systems. I read maps and stuff.
yeah.
Different Skywalker.
But anyway, so more robot unison dubstep. we clear the shuttle bay. Kara at one point her gun jams.
Yeah. Their laser bolt rifle jams. All I can figure is one of the cartridges just didn't eject properly.
One of my laser bolts jammed in the cylinder. It's like, what? And so
Just imagine the scene where Kylo stops the first bolt.
Oh, God.
Just look in the barrel. That's what you're seeing.
You know, it always gives rise to these really dumb. You see it a lot. Do you remember? It was so the first Men in Black, in the very first scene with the old dude with Tommy Lee Jones, and he's like fiddling with his gun as he gets knocked down. He's like, "Oh, I can't I'm too old. I can't make this gun work. Maybe if I fumble around with it enough, I'll finally get it to." Ah! And then Tommy Lee winds up blasting the alien. And it's like we have that in so many movies when a gun jams, they're just like fumbling around with it. We have that a little bit here, so it's a little cheesy. But then Kara just, sort of picks up her rifle and just starts beating people with it. So I thought that was kind of hilarious. Does a judo throw, and just beating people. And then of course she fixes her gun, by the way, so it's all good.
By hitting it on the ground. That's how you fix any jam.
Yeah, I guess. Gotta love those heavy guns. They're fun. Let's see here. So, Mando, his job, by the way, was to effectively jettison the droids. He's there a little late. One of them sneaks through the blast doors. Oh, my goodness. And I gotta say, I don't know. Okay, let's just do this. What are you thinking about these droids? Really? Like, what are you really thinking about this combat with these droids?
The droids are dumb.
Yes.
They're really dumb.
That's exactly what I thought too. I don't like them. And I wonder if it's just because I know that they're just droids and they're not people.
But it's like, if the last thing to get rid of is the human element, and that's the issue, wouldn't you think they'd be smarter?
Well, they're not. They're dumber than dirt.
And by the way, I want to talk about brutal. Just literally pounding Mando's head into the wall.
Yeah, and then probably the most hilarious thing with a droid is Mando, again, uses his favorite weapon,
Yes.
the flamethrower, to
His favorite, not very effective weapon.
I even said as we were watching, it's like, oh my God, now the droid's just pissed and it's on fire. And it just looks at him as it's literally on fire. And I was like,
It's a Ghost Rider droid now.
Yes, Ghost Droid. It was hilarious as it looks at him just with fire going. It's like, well, that wasn't very smart. But we see the resiliency of Beskar. But again, not very smart as droid, because even as he kind of shoots him a little bit, he's shooting him just in the armor. He's not I don't know, man. I just
And kicking him towards that spear.
Yeah, and I was saying that a few times. Mando uses his little missiles up too, which is significant later. But he does use a spear. Now, one of the things you brought up, are these things made of Beskar?
I believe they are.
I'm gonna say I am
or
going
some
to say
kind of hybrid of Beskar and something else.
I'm gonna say no, and the only reason I say no is because a little later we see something take them out.
Well, true, but Mando just takes them out. Just because the armor is Beskar doesn't mean... No, I'm kidding.
I honestly just think it's blast resistant. I don't think it's... But I did think about that, and I know you were the first one to say it, but I don't necessarily think it was.
It's weird because we know that the Empire has Beskar.
Yeah.
So why don't they use it?
Because the final scene of this movie wouldn't have made as much sense.
True.
We'll get there. But listen... Storming the command center. This was sick. Kara leading the charge with the little, the heavy gun, Fennec, and our Mandalorian shooting behind him, just blasting every single trooper, which coincidentally, and I do...
Our lady dies in this, I do believe.
She kind of gets unceremoniously executed, I think. And I think... I didn't really see her specifically get shot. So there's two things. One... I'm curious to see if she actually survived, and if maybe she got away. Maybe Gideon sends her before, because hate to say it, but he knows what's up.
Yeah.
So I actually think she's still alive. I think she'll come back at another time for something. And I don't think she has a name. I don't think they gave her a name.
No.
All I know is that I really, really want to send her a tailor for that darn suit because like it's so baggy, and I just want to. I want. It's like, come on, she seems cool. Let's give her a better suit.
Yeah, right.
Let's give her a better uniform.
She's at least competent enough as an Imperial to be dressed properly.
Let's give her a better suit. Anyway, so we don't know her status. I didn't see her being taken out, so that'll be interesting if we see her again. Let's get to Grogu.
Brutal strangle right there, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Mando is using the spear, foreshadowing. But, yeah, using the spear to strangle a stormtrooper, not even shooting him, which I thought was a little weird. Then we see little Grogu in his little tiny Grogu-sized handcuffs.
Why do they even have these? What are they for?
Well, the return of the Darksaber, Gideon, and I gotta say this exchange was interesting. It was very interesting. Mando's like, I just want the kid, and it seems like Gideon's like, okay, just leave me alone. I got his blood.
Yeah,
that's all I want. Okay.
Which you know is bullcrap.
Well, the thing is what if it wasn't? Like, what if it wasn't? And let me place this in your head a little bit.
I think that would have made his character more interesting, personally.
Here's the thing. Yeah, and that's a thing. It's like, are they trying to cast more sympathetic glance on the Remnant? I don't think they are, but
not a very good job at it if they were.
But he does say here, just assume I know everything.
Yeah.
And just to move on, they fight. And Mando wins. But let me put this in your skull a little bit, because you even said something about this. What if this calculating, conniving Moff was going to let him go, but then he realized that, oh, I need a different out. So he recalculated for this fight, which we're both thinking, maybe Mando beat him, but more than likely Gideon wasn't fighting his full strength, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
We don't know how he got the Darksaber.
We don't know how good of a fighter he is, truly.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it.
The fight was interesting. It was actually a really good fight. We got some little cool spear moves from Mando with the Beskar spear. It was hot. It got hot, man.
Real hot.
That would have been
take
pretty
him-
brutal if he like tapped Gideon with the hot part, like branded, like give him a little solder wound there, or little burn. It burns. But I thought the exchange was just so interesting, and it almost makes me think that he would have let him go. But then it's like, yeah, but this isn't the way that this is going to end.
Mm-hmm.
So one big thing, we still don't know what the blood's for.
And we don't by the end of the episode, unfortunately.
We don't. We don't know that yet. And hopefully eventually we will. And I think we will. Poor Grogu. He looks so pathetic. It's such a good puppet, man. Mm-hmm. It's so good. I love it.
It's like, I just want to go catch frogs. Take me back to the village, Dad. Marry that chick.
Yeah. Gosh. So we can have fun in the swamp and I'll just eat frogs all day. All right. So we have our fight. How many stars in the fight? How you like that fight? It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. That's how many stars is pretty cool.
Mando doesn't have the command of the staff like our magistrate did. She handled that staff extremely well. Mando had a couple moves, but not to the extent of the magistrate, which I actually think would be appropriate because, like, Mando,
he doesn't use it.
Training with a staff. I mean, is that part of the initiation? And big question we had. Can the Darksaber cut through Beskar? Answer, no.
No. But it can heat it up to extreme temperatures. The question is, what's
the spear
melting point? Correct, but he never touched his bracers long enough to see if that would really do the same, which I imagine it would. The question is, what's the melting point of Beskar? Could it eventually cut through it if it was up against it long enough?
Makes sense. And that was actually something I was curious to see. Would you have liked to have seen maybe he heats a part up and then he is able to break through it, but then Mando still bests him with the spear? Because, I mean, it's the Darksaber. It was created and wielded by a Mandalorian.
Yeah. I think it would have raised the stakes quite a bit.
I think it'd been cool.
Yeah.
I think it'd been
Definitely.
sick. Still gives Beskar its due, but also allows you to see how this is a different saber.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, just the reaction of Gideon after this battle. It's very clear that it's like, you know, maybe he would have liked to have won, but it's very clear he's kind of okay with this.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they go to Bo, Mando has just bested. He walks into this with the Darksaber ignited.
I know.
Okay. He has bested the person who had the saber, which means by right, the saber is his. Which
And
then by right,
he's now able to take claim of leader of Mandalore.
yep, exactly.
So technically, right now, he is the leader of Mandalorians.
I
Just
mean,
nobody knows it yet.
yeah, I mean, basically he is. And Gideon he's so good.
He's giddy.
Dude. Oh, Giancarlo Esposito, man. I love this guy. He is so good in this scene. He is egging this entire thing on. Mando tries to give her the saber.
Yeah.
And we talked about this before the episode. Technically, Bo didn't win the saber in the first place. Sabine gave her the saber, but Sabine didn't really win the saber either. She found it on Dathomir.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's a bit of a gray area here, but we are definitely cementing that Bo cannot take it now because she didn't beat Gideon. And that was something that she had said earlier in the episode. It's like, Gideon's mine.
Yeah.
Which is why she stormed the bridge and which is why Gideon wasn't there. Smart guy. He's just, oh God, the look, his facial expressions are insane.
Eh.
I love it so much.
I loved his reaction. He's just like, just take it. I forfeit.
Yeah.
Take it.
Take it.
Please.
Take the
it.
saber.
Take it. I don't want it.
Well, in
And
between,
at this point, it's like, yeah, we're not going to resolve this season.
no, and the implication was maybe Bo was going to fight him here, but obviously that didn't come to pass, and we kind of were like, that would have been a little bit excessive for this point. I did, however, think about maybe the possibility of what's our other Mandalorian character's name? Come on, you gotta. What's her name? What's Sergeant Banks' character's name? You don't even remember, do you?
Gotcha.
Yeah, my goodness. Ah, come on, man. You gotta remember this stuff for me.
Sorry, I'm just terrible with names. Just terrible with names.
You didn't have that on standby?
I did, but I'm not seeing it.
Oh my
I think
goodness.
He moved.
We gotta give her credit. We gotta give her proper credit.
Kazga Reeves.
Okay. So Reeves here. Christopher Reeves. I actually
Just
thought
think Keanu.
no, seriously though, I kind of wondered if she would be like, we'd like maybe pan to her and have a little bit of a doubt on her face, like,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Yeah,
well,
some
I've
kinda
been
interaction.
following Bo, but maybe I should like get on the other side here. I'm seeing where the winds are going. Don't see that. I thought that was a bit of a lost opportunity. But then, you remember those droids that we jettisoned? Oh, we didn't really say that, but they were jettisoned.
And what's the first thing you said when we jettisoned those droids?
They have rockets, man.
Yeah. And why didn't
can
we think
fly.
about that before we came up with this plan?
Because it's Star Wars. Do 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 do. Yeah. So the droids are back. They are rock'em sock'em roboting their way.
And you called that too.
They look like rock'em sock'em
great.
robots, dude. Like the little handheld. It was so weird. They're just boom, 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 right on the door. Didn't actually make great work of that door. Like I thought they'd make better work of that door.
They beat it up about as well as they did the other door.
They were still able to open the door. I mean, later
They were
on.
there.
Anyway.
They were almost there.
All right, dude, let's just cut the crap. Okay, let's cut the crap. Let's knock out your headphones from your ears with my foot because I cannot control where any of these wires are, even though I probably could be more aware. Let's cut the crap. Let's get to the meat.
The meat and taters.
All right, well, thank you guys for listening to this
All right,
episode.
it's been real fun. And that's season finale. Everyone dies.
A single X-Wing.
Single X-Wing.
One solitary X-Wing.
Oh, one X-Wing? What's that going to do for us?
So they say.
Yeah, Kara.
I'm going to...
You think right there, little Grogu sensed it?
Yes, Grogu did. They set Grogu down. Obviously, all of our friends here, aiming towards the door. The bots are trying to break their way in. I'm trying to fast forward to the spot because even though I said we should probably rewatch this one more time before we recorded, we were talking about so much stuff. I didn't want to
lose any of the magic.
Yeah, I didn't want to lose the magic. But listen, this single X-Wing comes down, and I'm trying to get a stop on this so that I can see, because we didn't see one specific thing. I'm really taking a lot of time because Disney Plus, the app, doesn't really work all that well with me. It's not like I can go frame by frame, can I? I think I missed it anyway. Whatever, dude. Listen, there's a single X-Wing, and guess who shows up?
Cal Kestis.
Okay, so we have a Jedi.
Not just a Jedi.
Okay. There it was. There it was
Did
on
you
the
wanna
mini
see
screen.
if he was there? Did
Yep.
you see him? Did you see him?
I saw something, but it was in black and white. Okay, it's very important. Okay, what's up with the Empire and their black and white little TV screens?
It's just certain things that they didn't have the budget to upgrade.
Do they not?
Yep.
Okay, but we can't tell because the color.
Yeah.
All right. X-Wing.
But come on.
There's a droid.
Come on.
Let's just say there's a droid. We gotta, we're only an hour into this, man. We gotta, elongate this more. Make the suspense. Okay. On the black and white screen, we see a lightsaber. All the droids.
You know what the first thing I said on that black and white screen? That lightsaber looked kind of green to you, even though that's a black and white screen.
That's what I said. So this was the point where I remember I put my hand on your shoulder. I was like, it's about to get real. Cloaked figure,
Black cloak, by the way.
black cloak.
Not many Jedi use black cloaks.
Well, it's on a black and white screen. It could be green.
Well,
We
that's
wouldn't
true.
know,
That's true. But it remains black when we actually see him.
dude.
Black boot, black single leather glove.
Moving through these droids, Moff Gideon is scared, and then we see it ignite the green.
Green lightsaber.
Green lightsaber.
One hand without a glove. All
Grogu's
black.
like, yep, that's who I was talking
That's
to.
my dude.
That's my boy right there.
That's my master.
God. And we see the
still
saber.
Gets me even the second time.
I knew, green. Ezra had a green saber.
Sure.
But as soon as they showed that saber,
Yep.
you know exactly who this is.
Yep.
Say his name.
The one and only Luke effing Skywalker.
You almost messed that up. You messed it up. You were so excited. Well, Reese might have just died. I mean, she might have died. Reeves.
No.
It's not even Reese. It's Reeves.
She's standing at the end of it. She's alive.
I'm just saying she got shot a bunch. It's Luke Skywalker, dude. Yeah. I mean, the cojones that they had to have to bring in Luke into this is beyond me, because we had speculated, who's he talking to? Are we going to see Ezra? Is it Leia? Is it Luke? Is it Kyle Katarn? Is it Cal Kestis? Is it somebody else that we don't even know?
Yeah.
No. Who's the baddest Jedi in all the land? Luke. It's Luke Skywalker, dude, and he makes mincemeat of these droids. Like, these droids stand zero chance against the Master.
I think Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau just became the gods of Star Wars.
Well, there's so many memes where it has... man, it's getting late. I'm forgetting names. The director of Rise of Skywalker. Oh, my goodness. We're real bad.
Why can't I remember names?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. This is embarrassing. Google time. Clearly, we're ready for
J.J.
Abrams. Wow.
It came to me before I was too slow on the fingers there, trying to use one thumb. But the meme is of JJ. It's like you can't please all
By the
fans.
way.
Well, yeah, we get to the crushing. He just literally force crushes one of these droids.
You know,
Like
it's funny because I had mentioned earlier, it's like, it'd be really cool if Grogu just shows his ultimate power and just crushes them all at once or
Yeah.
explodes one of their heads.
Yeah.
No, he's a little young for that, but you know what? Luke can do it.
Yeah. And no, but the meme was like, it was basically one of those hold my beers as Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. They have done something here that, I mean, I know that people speculated about Luke Skywalker, but there's not one person out there that was said that this was bad, that they weren't crying. It was an absolutely amazing reveal. You open the door, which is very reminiscent of the Vader scene in
Rogue One.
Rogue One. Green lightsaber to the floor, silver belt buckle, drops the hood. De-aged Luke Skywalker, dude. It is.
It's amazing, is what it is.
It was just such a ballsy move.
It was.
Like, you could have messed this up so bad.
And we had talked about this in the last couple of discussions, you know, going through the list of all the Jedi that could show up. And we had both at one point thrown out Luke, and
Right.
we were both very skeptical of that. It'd be amazing, but there's no way. It's just they're not going to do that on a TV show. And then they do it.
I know. Now, let's talk a little bit about the face. Let's talk a little bit about the whatever CGI or whatever de-aging.
It's
not
rough.
It's not quite right.
Yeah.
I think when you do a little bit closer, it starts to lose some of the effect. But it's not terrible. But, you know, I mean, I think that Tarkin was darn near perfect. The Leia in Rogue One was a little meh. Luke and Leia in Rise were pretty good.
But we both mentioned this. The hair.
It's the hair.
The hair is the issue.
Yeah.
And the reason they were better in Rise is because they had helmets on.
Yeah. The hair is just not quite realistic for
But
me.
again, the budget. I mean, think of the budget difference between this and Rise.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. Let's continue the episode. We'll obviously jump back. Then we get a scene between Grogu and Din Djarin here. And Grogu touches his mask, and Mando takes his mask off. His helmet off, not his mask, his helmet. And I gotta say, I didn't think about it until this moment. Grogu has never seen Din Djarin's face.
Bill Burr has.
Yeah. Bill Burr saw his face.
IG
Mayfeld.
88
Anyway.
has.
IG-88, Mayfeld. Like, two other people have seen his face.
Two people that hated him.
Yeah, Mayfeld was cool with him, I guess. IG-88
Not at
was
first.
ambiguous. Yeah, but Grogu actually touches his face. Like, he sees this father figure's face for the first time before he's basically whisked away by Luke.
Yeah.
And it was such a touching scene. And this puppet, dude. This puppet is amazing.
It is.
Like, however they did that was so
It's
perfect. And, you know, setting Grogu down on the floor like he's doing the little dog routine, like trying to hugging his leg. It was something. It was something different. Oh, and then by the way, R2D2.
Yeah. Because you're welcome.
Well, that was the thing earlier, because like when everything happened so fast when the X-Wing showed up, I was like, we got to stop motion that, man. We got to see if R2 was in there, and he was there. And we get a little interaction between Grogu and R2, and I think I said during that, it's like R2's probably having flashbacks, getting beat by Yoda. He's like, oh my God, it's another one. He's going to hit me with a stick.
Master Luke, don't give him a stick.
So that was neat. And then, you know, Luke picks up Grogu and off they go. Where? Nobody knows.
Dagobah.
You would have to think, right?
Well, this was your father's hut. It's yours now.
I mean,
I'm gonna train you
your
here.
father was an apex predator here, basically. He ate all the frogs. They've repopulated. It's been some time, but listen, man, you know, you just got to be good on the ecosystem. You know, natural symbiotic circle. There's only one of you. thousands of them. Just don't eat them all, okay?
Here's your dad's bow. Just don't go crazy. Yeah.
It's wild. Everybody just standing there. They fought so hard. And even back when Mando came to Bo and was like, they took the child, even she was angry.
Yeah.
She was like,
literally
they
not.
took the what?
Literally, you could. I thought about this the other day. If you splice this into the end of Rise of Skywalker, oh, nobody's coming. We're on our own. We don't have a fleet. And Din Djarin's just like, guys, the First Order has the child. And then right after that, you jump to every ship.
That would have been fun. Actually, that would be a great meme, dude. That would be an awesome meme. Man. That takes us to the end of this episode.
But that's it.
Well, we'll get to the end credit scene Marvel style in a minute. Let's speculate about a few things and then we'll start to wind down a bit. We talked a little bit about the training of Grogu. Luke was with Yoda for 6 months. Ben was 29 years old at the beginning of Force Awakens. So we start to think about time.
Mm-hmm.
How long does Luke train Grogu? Luke was probably a little further along, maybe, than Grogu. Maybe. How long does he take? Was Grogu there at the destruction of the temple? Was he already gone? Did he go join his father on Mandalore as they ruled his... Anyway, Master and Apprentice. What do you think, man? What do you think we're going to get? Because personally, for me, I think Grogu learns, and we're going to see him later during a, maybe a little season 3 Mandalorian Civil War.
The only direction the show could go.
I'm just saying.
From here.
I'm just saying. What else are we going to get? We got to have the Civil War between, the cultists and the other Mandalorians who aren't cultists. the Catanites.
Yeah, I think that we're going to have an entire season devoted to that.
I'm down.
The question is, what's going to be our need to get Grogu back? Other than just desire to see him again.
Well,
because I think that they will introduce a need at the end of the 3rd season for a Force user.
It makes sense, but I'll tell you about this. I think that there has to be a different philosophy for the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
I think attachment, and I was talking with my buddy Chase, and we've talked about him. These Are the Voyages podcast. I think the biggest problem with the Jedi was always their fear of everything. They feared fear.
Mm-hmm.
They let it rule them, which is why I think the dark side was so easy to turn someone if you stepped even a little bit out of line. Anakin's biggest problem was his fear of people dying, those that he loved. And it was just a meme. It was like an older Grogu meme that I saw at one point. I might have mentioned it last week. But it was one of those things where death is a natural cycle of life.
Mm-hmm.
We'll all see them in the Force when we're done. But I will celebrate their life, and I'm not going to, fear their death because it's natural. If we could be like that, death wouldn't be such a scary thing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's always a question of afterwards. Yeah. We don't know if the Force, or if there's an afterlife.
Yeah.
People have beliefs. I have my own beliefs. You, I'm sure, have your own beliefs, or maybe you don't. I don't know. We've never really talked about that. But anyway, I think that that's the Jedi's biggest thing. So, does Grogu maybe break the mold a little bit here?
I think he has the right master to help him break that mold. Because when you think of all the other Jedi,
does he?
Well, I guess that goes down to if you're talking about EU Luke, or unfortunately this Luke. But the Luke that we have right now is not necessarily...
It's not the EU
going
Luke.
To have the same opinion that he would in Force Awakens, Last Jedi. You know,
See, this is the thing, and so many people had a problem with the rendition of Luke, especially in Last Jedi, because the EU painted him in a very different light, and that's who we came to enjoy. And we don't get the swashbuckling adventures of Luke Skywalker in between, Last Jedi and Force Awakens. We don't have that necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
We now know he took a pit stop and picked up a Padawan.
Yeah.
Just saying.
and we've been talking about this. We want to know what happened with Luke.
Yeah.
Up until Force.
But here's the thing. Is he the best choice? Because in some ways, it feels like he might have made some of the same mistakes that he tried to maybe avoid.
Well, again, I think that we're going to have to wait and see because that's Luke 25 years from now. What changed him along the way?
It all depends on how you feel about foundations of people.
Yeah.
Sometimes the foundation is already laid.
Well, the foundation, if you want to go based on that, the foundation of Luke could be seen in Return of the Jedi. Because it's his love for his father that ultimately saves Anakin. If he wanted to be a true Jedi at that time, he would have let go of that love and done what he needed to do and defeated both the Emperor and Darth Vader.
I'm with you.
So as far as foundations that have not been wiped away from canon, that's our last time seeing Luke.
Well, let me throw
before
another
this point.
Let me throw another curveball at you. I mean, what if all of his sadness is because,
Mara Jade died.
Yeah.
Oh, believe me, I thought of that already. In the short time I know that Luke is now back.
I'm just saying, man.
They could still easily
just a redhead
bring
shows
her back.
up, dude. Just redhead shows up with a purple saber and just we're kind of dating. It's cool.
and truthfully,
that'd be so sad though.
If
that was the reason why.
But truthfully, they have not written themselves into such a corner that they couldn't potentially bring Mara in and them still have a child. They could
don't go there,
still
dude. Don't
truthfully
go there.
make that work.
Yeah, let's.
I know.
Let's pump the brakes just a wee bit on that. Okay.
But we were saying the exact same thing about seeing Luke in this episode just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Though. If you're gonna back into child of Luke and Mara, either they would have had to have died with Mara if you're gonna bring in Mara, or they would have to be off somewhere, and then that complete. Unfortunately, I don't think that should happen because it completely invalidates the prequels, or excuse me, the sequels. It completely invalidates the sequel.
Well, I'm not saying that this child is alive.
No, I'm just saying that it completely if it is alive, it completely invalidates the sequels, and it gives an out for people to say, well, why didn't the story feature the real Skywalker, and this one isn't a Skywalker at all, and she's just lying Skywalker. I'm just saying, man, that I actually don't think there should be a child of Luke.
Well,
I
I'm
would
only
love
saying
it, but
it would help develop the character if he has that loss.
yeah, I know. I don't think.
But Mara could be enough.
I think
for
Mara
that
would be enough. So I would love to see, cheeky little redhead, coming around and just being busting Luke's, balls a little bit. I'd like to see that. That'd be fun. I love EU Mara Jade so much. Her and Jaina were they were my favorites from New Jedi Order.
Oh yeah,
it just
by
is
far.
what it is, man.
But it does bring up one more potential team up, especially since we have the show coming out in a couple years. We now have the potential of Luke and Ahsoka actually interacting, which I think is something a lot of people have wanted for a long, long time.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I had kind of forgot. Obviously, there's been so much fan art of Ahsoka meeting Luke and Leia and even Ben.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of there's just a ton, and that would be pretty amazing.
Yeah, just the implication.
Yeah.
Of it,
feeling his spirit and being
I've not felt this for a long, long time.
I would hope she doesn't say that, to be honest with you. But I'm just saying,
but
having that connection, I miss your father.
tell me about my father,
Yeah, tell me about my father. You tell me about him in the end, type of deal.
Yeah.
I think it would be incredibly touching, and I think you could definitely do a lot of justice to that. But again, that means you have to further Luke's story.
Yes.
And who knows?
And how much are we going to see of Luke? That's the question. Is this a one and done,
Mando,
or
in Mando? I would say I don't think we'll see Luke again.
No, I don't think you'll see him in Mando. But you've just opened it up to put him in so many other things.
Let me put it to you this way: I don't think you can do it with a CGI face.
Not long term.
I wouldn't want that.
Not more than a few minutes. It's rough.
I think at that point, if you're gonna do the swashbuckling adventures of Luke Skywalker, you have to recast him, just like Alden Ehrenreich.
Yeah.
So let's move on just a wee bit here. Obviously, that's huge. Speculation for next season.
Again, I think it's all going to be a siege on Mandalore.
Yeah,
and it's going to be. We're going to go two ways with this. We're going to figure out a way for Mando to concede the Darksaber, which would be fairly simple in a fight. When you think about it, he would just choose to lose, just like Gideon did. But he would have to do it in a way that Bo doesn't feel like he chose to lose.
I kind of have a sneaking suspicion that Bo will not wind up ruling Mandalore. I have a suspicion that she'll give it up. I think, honestly, it always felt a little bit more like a crusade to avenge her sister than anything personal. Like not that she's not a great leader. I just don't.
She was never a leader until that point.
Well, I mean, I think she was in a way, but I don't think on as grand a scale as her sister. And I think even the character can admit that. So yeah, but I think there will be a Mandalorian Civil War.
Yeah.
I think we'll see the armor. I think we'll see a clash of, I guess old and new, depending on how you view old and new. And I think that this will be. I think it'll encompass the season.
Oh, it could easily, and this will be finally a season of no fetch. I won't say no fetch quest. There can always be a fetch quest.
Let's get something straight.
But
there will be fetch quests.
But there could be a much more cohesive story like we saw in this compared to the first season. There's no reason that it would have to be a mess. I mean, it's all going to be focusing on the same thing. The question is, are we going to have Bo and Mando at odds the entire season?
Let me just throw one more thing at you right here. What if we brought in one cool bit of the EU?
The basilisk creatures they rode?
I mean, that'd be cool. No. But listen. There's another artifact out there. The Helm of Mandalore.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, like...
needs to be back in.
Fetch quest in Djarin. I've got to go find the Helm of Mandalore.
Side quest added. Find Helm of Mandalore.
Dude, I'm just saying, I mean, because it's such a huge tie-in with, like, Revan. And I'm just saying, you could.
Find a certain artifact that...
I'm just saying, you could do some tie-ins to Old Republic.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I actually think the Helm of Mandalore would be pretty sick. Like, maybe Bo... God, I really just don't want to see Bo as, like...
throwaway or a villain character.
I don't want to see her as a villain. The thing is like, what if the factions, the armor brings forward, like Bo somehow gets the saber back and she just takes it, but the armor brings forth the Helm of Mandalore, and then we have a clash. This is the old way. The Helm of Mandalore determines who is Mandalore, the leader of this people. It's like, no, this is what we are. We're led by the Darksaber.
Which, by the way, I'll take the Darksaber over the helm any day, but
That Darksaber is a remnant of the Jedi, the wizards that hated us, and we had to fight them and kick their butts. Well, you know what? A specific Jedi took that helmet too, and you know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Revan, but don't worry about that too much. So anyway, I'm just saying that would actually be a cool
Then there's
clash.
a guy in the back. I've got a third artifact idea, and this can be the... Shut up, Dave.
Dave. Always giving crap.
but I've got these gauntlets. They're really cool. I made them. It's the new.
gauntlets of Mandalore, guys. I've been talking about this since I was 4.
I bring forth the iron shoes of Mandalore.
Oh my God, these are so heavy. How am I supposed to fight? You're not supposed to fight. You're a monarch.
Well, I also have to say we have to see Sabine at some point too.
Yes.
We have to see
Are we going to have enough
Clan
of a,
Ren.
We're going to have enough of a time jump to make all that relevant, all that stuff.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. But one thing I pointed out as we were talking, God, we're going long. One thing I pointed out is that I don't believe it's possible for Sabine to have left with Ahsoka on a mission to find Ezra if Mandalore were not settled. And as we kind of are speculating by what Dave Filoni said, we're kind of thinking that these events are before the final scene in Rebels when Ahsoka and Sabine go off to find Ezra.
Right.
I think chronologically that is probably correct. With that being said, Sabine, being a Mandalorian and very engrossed that Clan Ren is Clan Ren. I mean, she was the one who found the Darksaber.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, she could be a peacekeeper between the two tribes. And then you actually, God, hold on. Sabine Wren, leader of Mandalore. She found the saber.
Yeah.
She gave it to Bo.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, what if it was her time? But again, I don't think that would make sense if she's going on a fetch quest with Ahsoka.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's like Sabine Wren, the leader of Mandalore. Din Djarin doesn't want it.
No.
And
Even though all of us are kind of like, oh, that'd be so awesome.
we don't need a Jon Snow in this. We don't need a reluctant leader.
No.
I don't think. No offense to Jon Snow. He was sweet. He should have been the king at the end, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But all I'm saying is you got to have Sabine.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have Clan Ren.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. So I think that's about it.
Yeah, we're done here.
Yeah, I think we're done here. Nothing else happened.
No,
weren't
we're literally at the
millions-
point of credits.
There weren't millions of Twitter people texting us, people on Facebook, probably Instagram, and all other social media outlets screaming about what is that thing
Credits?
Marvel does sometimes?
Post credit. No.
Yeah, so we got a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest.
You got mixed feelings for this, don't you?
I have mixed feelings because I understand it's all Disney now, but I kind of want Star Wars to be Star Wars.
Yeah, I get that.
Don't put that crap in my Star Wars because Marvel.
Hey, we're about to get a Star Wars movie written by the guy who wrote Ragnarok. So,
Yeah, I mean, I
fortunately,
I do,
we're gonna see it.
I do like some of the Marvel movies, but I think that they're two very different things, and they should be different.
Yes,
and even
they have formulas.
And yes, I know in credit scenes are not just Marvel, but I'm just saying.
But
it was weird.
Where else do you see that right now? What can make you think of end credit scenes?
Yeah. What was it? Book of Boba.
Yeah, Book of Boba.
So is it a book or is it a series?
Have you ever seen Star Wars advertised for a book at the end? Well, they haven't had a TV show.
The Book of Mormon.
I was wondering if you thought of that too.
the book of Eli Fett Boba Mormon. Okay. Jabba's palace. Tatooine.
Bib Fortuna.
Fat Bib Fortuna. Dude, Bib went ahead and just took over Jabba's empire. He's got his sweet little chair. He's just plump.
He's got it better than he did in the EU. You remember how he dies in the EU?
You know what? I don't. Remind me.
So there's these little like mechanical spider things.
Oh, did he get taken out by the spiders?
Yeah.
Did he? Was he a brain? Was he a brain spider?
he was a brain spider.
That's right. He
Yeah.
did. There was a book. I don't remember if that was in New Jedi Order, but it was really late on when Jaina actually explored the brain spiders at one point. They were that monks forever. I think
Oh, what was one of the Hutts from Clone Wars? Stupid the Hutt. I can't remember that Hutt's name. Anyway,
Yeah.
he got brained.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not the right wording for that. Let me walk that back. He didn't get. Anyway, his brain got yanked out. I can't remember what that Hutt was. That is, well, I'm bad with names as it is. So anyway, yeah, potential Boba series, mini movie, mini series, book of Boba. Fennec is obviously still with Boba.
Yep.
Boba just executes Bib.
Yeah.
I mean, what's up with that, man? What did Bib ever do to you? He could have been your little speaker dude, been having fun with Bib, just bibbing it up.
Would you trust Bib?
Well, God, no. Nobody should trust Bib. He's stupid.
Exactly.
Nah, he's not. He's not stupid, but he is easily influenced by Jedi.
Yes, he is. That was kind of a cool little
It was neat.
close up at the end with him sitting there.
They just executed him.
Yeah.
I think Dave Filoni had a real problem with Bib Fortuna. I feel like somewhere in like Dave's mental palace, he's like, George, I love you, man, but there's one thing I got to take care of.
Bib.
He doesn't even say it.
Bib.
He's like, John, we have to do something. And you
Say
might,
no more. I know who you need me to take care of. I
not-
know all things.
You might not understand this, but I need you to murder Bib Fortuna. What? I need you to murder Bib Fortuna. Why?
Well, how would we do that?
Hold on.
Well, how would we even do that?
Murder him.
Like Game of Thrones murder.
Well, there's so many ways. Just
Hold on.
do.
Hold on. I know exactly how. Hold on. I'm rolling with this. Hold on.
Oh my God.
Hey, you know how we're writing Mando season 2 right now? I got a new character to add to it.
Yeah. So anyway, poor Bib. He might be still alive. We don't know. He could be. Hey. He
Center
could
mass.
Still,
He's big. He might have had.
Still become a brain spider.
He could.
Yeah.
If this show comes out and there's a brain spider in the background, I might just die of
Yes,
laughter.
sir. Now listen, there was one thing I don't remember if you were of the same thought process, but I know I thought that when we started here shooting, for some reason I instantly flashed to Lando.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, how cool would it be? Lando showing up on Tatooine for whatever reason. We have no idea.
See, I was
why.
thinking like Lando or Han. One of the two.
I would,
Yeah.
what if it were all Darren Riker?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Make
What if
Solo
it were both of them?
Listen, it's too late. It would have been. It's far too late. This is
Right.
past everything.
Right.
That would have been sick, though. Anyway, no,
You could have just had him grow a beard. He'd be all right. Just make him look older.
sometimes we get excited and forget timelines, but
Yeah.
like Donald Glover, it's like, oh no, wait, he's older now.
Hey, if we can do CGI to make Luke young, we can do CGI to make them old.
I just lost Cloud City, and I'm not getting it back yet, so I'm taking Tatooine. Oh, okay.
I was stuck on that forest planet, and he stole my ship, so I kind of needed to bum a ride. And apparently, we're taking over Tatooine now.
So it sets up an interesting sort of scenario where we don't know if, we always kind of wondered if Boba Fett was going to be a little bit evil, maybe still. Fennec's grabbing the blue, the Romulan ale, as I thought, because Star Trek. But anyway, apparently they're taking over. That maybe he's setting himself up as a new syndicate, or maybe he's just trying to kind of do what Cobb Vanth couldn't exactly do and try and clean up Tatooine. Maybe he's going to be good. I don't know. But let's be honest, they're totally starting a crime syndicate.
Do we want him to be good at this point? Does he need to be?
Jeez. It'll be interesting.
Can't we just have Mando go back to Tatooine for the billionth time and see what Bubba's done to him and be like, oh, God, I helped this. I'm a part of this.
Cobb's just up in one of those little torture chambers, like, I shouldn't have given you that armor.
I swear I didn't put that dent in that armor.
So that'll be interesting. We do get December of next year for that. So that potentially means they might have already started shooting or have shot it or are in the process. I am, I am happy for Morrison. I am happy for that actor. I'm happy that he's getting, because we have also some maybe confirmation he might show up in Obi-Wan too, in the Kenobi series. And that could mean Cody, Rex, another clone, another clone, another clone, another clone.
And I'd have to check that. I've actually looked into Cody's death, and I believe in this canon, unfortunately, he dies before that timeline.
Yeah.
But it would be amazing if we could get Cody.
Dude, it would be sweet to see Cody. Because, I don't remember. You remember. I don't remember Cody's death off the top of my head.
It's
Rex,
obscure. He goes into the Empire, and he's shot by an Imperial, I believe.
Is
or
that how it
something like
goes?
that. Yeah, he gets into a skirmish with them. The clones were not well accepted in the Empire. They were all treated like crap. So
well, I get that, but I would be interested. Obviously, Rex would be a big one, but Cody, dude,
it would be more significant to
have even a little bit of redemption for Cody. Would be that would be.
He's removed his chip and he's trying to find his old friend. Yeah.
It'd be fascinating, but I have to also say, and we probably need to wrap it up, but even I've been saying that for probably the past hour. I think with the Kenobi series, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth, I think, in another time, he's not going to be on Tatooine this entire time. So it's very possible he just runs into folks, and we'll see how that goes. But anyway, let's go ahead. Any parting thoughts on Mando, our season finale?
Not what I expected.
No, not at all.
Not what anyone expected, I believe.
Right.
Season without Baby Yoda. Man.
Potentially. What if he comes back just with a saber? He's packing heat.
Little mini saber.
He's packing heat. He's got his daddy's saber. I mean, we don't know that. Yoda could have had a saber. And
Luke would have it. So
here is this butter knife, Grogu. It was your father's, like your father before you. Now cut the toast. Slowly, Grogu. You need to toast it first. That's too slow. You've burned it all.
Do you think he's gonna get a little payback for all the handstands and rock movements? Like, your dad made me do this. Now do it.
I'm your backpack now. That would have to be animated. That'd be hilarious if it were animated. He just tried. Come on, you got to build up those little legs, buddy. That's right, Yo. And then you just see like Yoda's Force Ghost in the background. It's like, why do this, do you? It's like,
good to you I was, Luke.
No, you're heavy, old man, and now your son's gonna feel the pain. He's gonna be Mr. Universe after this. We're gonna do so many chin-ups and pull-ups and handstands and backpacks.
At what point do you think we're gonna have Baby Yoda talking? Grogu.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is when we see him again, I feel like he's will be able to speak basic.
Right away.
Yeah,
Dad.
I swear though, I know there are people that might not like this. I want him to speak normal.
Oh, I don't think you're ever going to explain one way or the other why Yoda speaks the way he does, so I would be fine with him just speaking basic. If he learns from Luke, he should be able to speak basic. The basic way.
Dad, happy to see you I am. Just kidding, Dad. Hey, man, how you doing?
Grogu, what is wrong with you? Why are you talking like that?
He speaks like Guy Fieri. Oh, hey, Dad, I was just rolling around with Master Luke over here. Decided to drop off and see how your Mandalorian Civil War was going.
Hey, you want to go over to Cleveland? There's this great restaurant.
What's Cleveland? It's in a galaxy far, far away. Don't worry about it. Oh, goodness. Yes.
Do you think they'll give him the braids, the cool hairstyle that young Yoda had?
That'd be cool. The art the fan art for that was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to see him with hair.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna lose it. We know his dad was. Oh goodness!
But seriously, he needs to grow up a little bit, and he needs to get slightly bigger. Yeah.
Well, and again, not to elongate too much, but like we have a rough age that Yoda was had already achieved the rank of master by around 100.
Mm-hmm.
So we're assuming that Grogu will spend some time with Luke.
Mm-hmm.
We assume that I'm assuming that he wasn't at the temple when it was destroyed. I have to assume that because if Ben Solo kills Grogu, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the comics, so it didn't happen. Yeah. But anyway, I think he's off doing stuff, and I think he's doing stuff with the Mandalorians. I think he goes back. You know, I think he. Oh, dude, parting shots. Okay. Din Djarin isn't Mandalorian, really. I mean, he's a foundling.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been accepted. Grogu is essentially a foundling. What if Grogu just winds up ruling Mandalore? Here, son.
The Darksaber's a little big for his hands.
He'll get bigger.
Not that big.
He'll get bigger. It's fine. It is a two-handed weapon for him. Okay,
It's a great sword.
freedom.
Yeah. Now I'm just imagining like Luke getting back to his room, taking Grogu in, and then they like do a 6 months later, and then he's just flipping around the room. He's like, Grogu, stop it. Stop flipping around the room. Stop it.
Seriously,
Stop it.
I'm building a mental picture though now.
Yeah.
Like 10, 15 years later.
Yeah.
Din Djarin rules Mandalore, but I don't know. He's old and sick or something. Grogu just
He's
shows
not that
up.
old.
I'm just
In
saying,
15
dude.
years.
I don't know. I'm trying to paint
He's
a
like
Disney picture.
35.
I'm trying to paint a Disney picture where Disney Princess Grogu comes back and assumes the throne of Mandalore from his father.
That's fine.
After
but
he is
jump
killed.
like 30 years then.
He was out boar hunting and gets drunk and stabs himself. Like whatever. Game of Mandalorians. Okay, he's assassinated, but he's not quite dead. I'm only partially dead. I'm not dead yet. And then Grogu comes and he's like,
he's the equivalent of what's Targaryen's first husband?
what?
What
are you talking about?
Daenerys Targaryen's first husband.
Oh, which Targaryen are you talking about, buddy?
sorry.
Yeah, Jason Momoa.
Yeah, Aquaman.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't been in a Game of Thrones for a while. I kind of forget his name.
yeah.
Yeah, Jason Momoa though. Yeah, we get it.
He's just there. He's a potato.
I'm just saying, if you did a flash forward and like again, yeah, obviously old age would be a little bit too much, but like him coming back and his father was hurt, or he, Mandalore's had its a little bit of peacetime, but then a new Death Watch shows up and Grogu picks up the dark saber and he's just.
Or a threat from another galaxy shows up.
I mean, did Grogu participate against the First Order? Just saying, we don't know that he didn't.
No, from another galaxy.
Yes, I know. That's a different story, though. Okay, all right. We're just getting silly. We're throwing out a bunch of random theories, but I do have to say they will meet again.
Mm-hmm.
They will meet again, and you know what? I don't know how long we have for Mando.
Starting to think it might be another season, and that's it.
No, I think it'll last a little longer, but I got to say this. I have a sneaky suspicion. I hate calling things, but I have a sneaky suspicion that Din Djarin won't make it, like, through all of this series.
Mm-hmm.
Like, eventually he will fall, or at least get really close to falling, and Grogu will have to go and do, like, dude, like, don the armor. All right, just, like, Mando up, buddy.
Well, he's not going to fit in his dad's armor.
I need you to tailor this a little bit better than...
And not like the Imperials.
Yeah, you know how, like, folks tailored those Imperial uniforms, perhaps like do it way better and more form fitting so I don't die. But, just like armor, just hammer this out to my body size and give me some of those little Stinger missiles. And
Here's one plate of Beskar. That should do the entire armor.
You melt down his dad's armor, it'd be great. And I need you to make
If
this.
he melts down his dad's armor, he can get armor, 3 different weapons, both missile launchers,
Yeah.
a backpack.
Give the rest of the foundlings. And I need you to cut ear holes in this helm for me because, no,
I'm
it'll
just not feeling it. They're like poking into my skull in the back. So.
The Beskar will come out in perfect ear shape molds and it'll just stick his ears. This is the longest episode I think we've ever done. So,
do you think that we might actually see Grogu jump between different series coming out?
Not initially.
But do you think we're setting him up for that eventually?
Maybe. I don't know.
Is he gonna be Obi-Wan's new little buddy?
I highly doubt it. But wait, Obi, there was another. My son.
I just like the idea of Ghost Ben just hanging out with him, like, "Hey, buddy, I'm your new friend. I knew your dad."
Anakin's ghost shows up. I always liked you, Grogu. That's why I sent you the message to get out of the temple that day.
Have you seen that meme?
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
I always liked you, Grogu. Don't come to the temple. Thanks for that message, Annie. I really appreciate it. Don't worry, Grogu. Me and you were always tight.
You were nice to me.
You were nice to me. You didn't like sand either. I could tell. You kept the secret of Padme and I a secret, despite everybody already knowing about it, and everybody just keeping it a secret from each other.
I forget what the meme was, but it was set up as I think it was like the surprised Pikachu face meme. But it's like Padme and Anakin over in the corner being a couple.
Yeah.
Everyone else knowing. And then it was like Obi-Wan not knowing.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
There's a few of those. All right, let's go ahead and wrap her up here. I think we're at the end. Ratings. We haven't given it the episode a rating. Give it a rating out of 10.
Is this going to affect next season? Because I know this season we're kind of worried about pinning yourself in a corner.
Don't care. That pinning yourself in a corner only applies to one season.
Okay, 9.9. I refuse to give a perfect 10 because a perfect 10 does not exist. It's not a unicorn.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know. This is a bit hard for me because I really like it and it was a huge surprise. It's still not better than the Ahsoka episode.
Really?
No,
Really?
it's not better than the Ahsoka episode. That was such an artistic pleasure to watch.
It was.
The Western element, the kung fu, like old martial arts movies aspect of it. That episode was as close to perfect, I think, as you can get.
Then why didn't you give it a 9.9 instead of a 9.8?
Well, because I didn't want to walk myself in a corner because I didn't know if there was another. So I mean, just from a season by season standpoint, a retraction. That episode was a 10. Okay, the Ahsoka episode was a 10. Okay, that was.
Is a unicorn.
That legitimately was no fault episode. I don't know if I would say perfect because perfect isn't, is an imaginary principle. You can't be perfect. It is as close to perfect as you can get. This episode, I'm going to go a 9.5. It is super solid, surprising, despite unfortunately some spoilers, but it felt so good. It felt so good to watch this episode. So good to see things tie to each other. So good to see things in the future and be able to speculate for. Sucks that, we don't get 22 episode seasons of anything anymore.
Yeah.
But really makes me look forward to the next season and a lot of the other stuff coming up because if they can make this series this good, then they can make any other season just as good as long as they want to.
And we know that they'll be able to afford it.
I would hope so. So anyway, folks, let us know what you thought. Obviously, Facebook, Twitter at TC Plan Podcast, or you can send us an email to tcplanpodcast@gmail.com. Any theories, thoughts, your ratings, disputing our ratings, whatever you want to do, let us know. We'd love to hear from you, and we will talk about it on the podcast. Probably shorter podcast than this one, but this was a big one. Coming up, we are going to do a full season review of season 2. We've got books coming up. We've got a lot of stuff coming up, but more than likely we might have a little bit of time off just because of the holidays. So, episodes might be a little sporadic for the next 2 weeks. We'll see. But yeah, once we get into the High Republic, that's going to kick off. Got series next year. We got a lot of stuff. But make sure to send us any ideas you have. If there's anything you'd like to hear on the podcast, we will be more than happy to consider it and then throw it in the garbage bin. No, just kidding. We'll consider it. But anyway, folks, that's it for us. You guys have a great rest of your week.
And as always, may the Force be with you.